All right. How's everybody doing? A lot of things going on, isn't there? So I'll just throw you my take at it. I know a lot of people don't care. And realistically, I don't care. I just see it for what it is. But, for a couple years now, people, and I've even thought this myself based on things that I thought before, and some of those things have changed, right? We get further into it, we learn just a little bit more. Okay, so when the timeline ran out, somewhere there around the Super Bowl. Okay, so let's explain it this way. So if we go back to the three windows in time from the Hopi Stone, we're in the fourth world. These are the three worlds. Again, this is why there was a three-eye atlas, because it was in the beginning, so it's going to be here in the end. Just like this comet that's supposedly hurling towards the sun, that's going to smack the sun. Whatever it was that took out the Son of Man. Again, there's no. It is what it is. The Son of Man is a son. It is what it is. Okay, so anyway, we're probably not going to get to that. But going back to the events today and things that I've been watching, and I've been talking about Donald Trump. A lot of people have been talking about Donald Trump. So when the timeline ran out back around the Super Bowl, and again, let's go back to here real quick. This is why we have Ukraine, Taiwan, right? And Iraq, Israel, Iran, I'm sorry. And we'll just throw Israel in there. That's why those are the three hot spots. Okay, so that too is what it is. Read into it what you want. Okay, so we're actually, and I've said in previous videos, that you're always dealing with what led up to, right? So again, if you go back and watch some of my videos, I talk about the different continents. Everything's a remnant of what used to be planets. And that's why, again, that's why all the stories are the same, because of, what's that old expression? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? They had a way of doing things, and they did it the same way over and over and over and over with all the different worlds that this happened to. But anyway, so I myself have been saying for a long time, I'm watching what Trump's doing, yada, yada, yada. But when you go back to the very beginning, okay, and so when you look at the sign in the heavens, right, the virgin with the dragon waiting to devour the child, and I said that already happened. So here we have Iran, right, and China's the dragon, right? It's all symbolic. But they were the ones feeding Iran, and so was Venezuela, right? So I'm not sure if we still have to watch anything for Trump. Because again, it goes back to the first will be last, the last will be first. And I think the first ones put in here will be the last ones to go, which would be AKA Donald Trump. Like I said, when you read the script, the Bible, and all that stuff has already happened. So the people who got left behind, so to speak, are the ones that came here at the Carrington event. They're the ones that had to live through and fix the Civil War crap, the freedom of the slaves, right? So whether you believe that or not, it just is what it is. Okay, and so everybody else, so those were the ones that got left behind. They lived through all that stuff, probably through two timelines that ran side by side. Because this is a quantum thing. It's not a singular, linear thing here, okay? So anyway, so again, like I said, that's why they started counting the generations after World War II. So, the other ones came in, everybody else got here after World War II. So they were the first ones here, they'll be the last to go. Now, we're also dealing with, again, the stuff that led up to, so I think this death that happened today with the Ayatollah, I think, could possibly be the spark that everyone was looking for in Donald Trump. I mean, I know there's a lot of programming out there, so to speak. The Simpsons speak of it. I think there's some show called Nation Z or Z Nation that says, the president has died. This is an extinction level event. Trump's been prepping everybody, right? If I go, if I go, if I go. I think that's just all part of a setup. They have you looking at him and not looking at what just happened. And why I think that's significant is because, I've always thought if Trump did go, that the event should happen within 24 hours of him passing. So if we go 24 hours from the Ayatollah passing, we're into, lo and behold, going into the next day, and we still have the parade of planets ongoing. Now, whether we have, like I said, whether we have to go through the third blood moon, supposedly on the 3rd, I'm not sure. Time will tell. I say this all the time. It is what it is. But I just wanted to throw something out there because, again, people are so hypnotized, so to speak, right? It's like a mass psychosis that goes on. But people are free to believe what they want to believe because it's through our beliefs. That's why they prey on them, that we make certain things happen in our life, right? So, and I've talked about that in videos before, but I just wanted to say, especially when the Straits of Hormuz, okay, so you have the Ayatollahs not only dead, but they have the Straits closed down, right? And what does that do? It stops the flow of oil. It stops the bleeding from Mother Earth, right? Like I've said all along, oil is nothing but burnt blood. That's why gasoline and oil is so high in its estrogen count. People who have studied this understand that. They may not understand that it's burnt blood, but they understand the estrogen's high in petroleum products. So that in itself is another significant event. It stops the flow of mother's blood, and it takes out one of the original culprits, so to speak. Because like I said, Satan, why was he cast to earth? Because, if I go into your house and steal stuff, I'm the only one that knows how I got in, when I got in, what tools I brought, right? It is what it is. So he knows all the stuff. That's why Trump's been tearing down the White House. They've done away with the penny. I've talked about all this stuff. It's just the cleansing of timelines. And I think a big one happened today. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. Parade of Planets is ongoing, and it's going to go into March, supposedly. So, like I said, I never look past today anymore. So, all right. So, just keep our ears to the ground. Love everybody, and hopefully, we're tick, tick, tick. We're getting very close to the end. Bye-bye.